So let's get started. And the first thing that we're going to talk is the journey. So we need to understand the whole journey of our clients, the whole journey inside of our company, in order to understand what is the best path to lead our business towards the success. As you probably know, and we already mentioned that it's pretty interesting for you to have a knowledge about content marketing. The first stage that we're going to talk is awareness. So in the first stage, the audience still don't know that they have a problem, and they maybe don't even know what they need. So they are just roaming around, and then you if you have an offer, you can generate this point of interest and then catch their attention in order to educate them. All right. Moving forward, we have consideration. In this stage, people are not quite sure that what is their problem or what are the potential ways to solve it. So this is your chance to education, nurture these guys, so you can give them more a background of what you have in order to deliver as a solution, and how they can solve their problem, that now, since now they know that they are going to have a problem. So you need to show yourself as a reliable source of information. In this stage, you need to give the most value that you can. So blog posts, videos, success cases, and anything that you are able to deliver to your audience in this stage is going to be pretty important for the next stage, that is decision. This time that people are going to, in the decision stage, people are going to have an important source of division. They are going to divide their minds. So I need to make a decision. So am I going to choose this one or that one? If they have been nurtured before during the awareness and consideration stage, they are probably going to, it's probably going to make easier for them to make a decision. And of course, if you did a good job, they are going to choose your business. All right, so we're going to talk about mapping. So if you want to create a strategy, the first step that you need to take is to map your content. When we're talking about content mapping, what I want to say is you need to define the format of content that you produce, the stages of the journey that most of your content is located at, and then the persona that you are aiming to achieve. So it can look like quite confusing, but you just need to divide your content into quite boxes. So you need to understand what is the type of content that you have, the formats that you have, the stage of the journey that each content is located at, and then the persona that you are focusing on. In this stage of content mapping, it is also quite interesting to add the keywords that you want to reach. We're going to be talking a little bit about SEO in the next slides, but we're not going to dive very deep into this topic. But it's always important to generate an organic traffic, and keeping these keywords in mind is going to help you a lot. If you need an extra help, we have a nice kit, which is a content mapping spreadsheet. So we have a whole spreadsheet where you can actually you can have a clear understanding of what I want to say with content mapping, and then you have all the boxes ready for you just to fill out and add your content, your persona, or the formats that you want to create. And it's going to be pretty helpful to have this structure ready and good to go. After mapping, defining all the contents that you have, and even the content that you are planning to launch, we can move to the next phase, which is going to understand the channels and formats that we can explore. So where can I deliver my content? And when we talk about where, it also brings us the idea of what, because if you want to deliver a video, is not every platform that is going to be able to have a video. And if you want to deliver text, not every platform accepts a huge amount of text. So, all right, as I mentioned, we need to deliver the right content in the right place. Keep in mind. All right, these are the main formats that we already know. So when we're talking about social media, this is one of the most famous and that people use the most. So we have Instagram, and when we're talking about Instagram, we're talking about stories, we're talking about feed, the static feed, we're talking about photos, and the reels that is pretty like trending right now. We also have Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. TikTok is also trending a lot lately, and even YouTube with short videos. Then we're talking about LinkedIn. It's pretty interesting to see that we have a very huge amount of professionals and they are interested in content. So if you are talking about B2B, LinkedIn is a perfect channel for you. We also have a blog. So when we're talking about a blog, you can count on the organic traffic and the SEO strategies to help you get more people having access to the content that you are creating, and also helping them solve their problems. On a blog, we have the opportunity not only to create content to nurture these guys, but at the same time to add some call to actions to convert them. So you can explore the most that you can this channel. Something that is also pretty interesting and it's growing a lot are the podcasts and webinars. Thought leadership is a nice way to deliver authority and to nurture your audience. So when we're talking about a specific topic, even when it's like a more difficult to bring on a blog post or more complex to bring only on a social media post, you can bring someone who is an expert or someone who is an authority in that topic to discuss, and you can create a webinar and even a podcast with the same content to discuss this subject, that can be more complex to discuss. We do this at Rock Content, and it's pretty interesting when we look at the authority that we are able to build with our jam sessions. If you are interested in learning more about content marketing, or even if you want to get some insights and get inspired, you can visit our Jam Sessions Hub, and we've been doing it a lot. And by the way, we have a Jam Session coming soon. Email marketing. I can say that this is the one that marketers trust the most. Like 95% of marketers agree that email marketing is an outstanding source. You probably receive lots of emails every day, like email marketing offers or any type of subscription that you have done, and a lot of marketers trust this channel, and it is pretty versatile because you create segmentations and then you reach the right people in the right time with the right content, as we were talking before. And these segmentations can be divided in many ways. You can create according to the journey, according to a content that they have already consumed in your website or in your blog, or you can create according to the job titles, the industry, or anything that you feel that can be can get you close to your audience. So just let your imagination drive you and create the segmentations that you feel is going to be valuable for your audience. Just a quick note, remember that you need to have the right size for each format, especially when we're talking about social media. You need to deliver the quality of your content. So keep in mind to check if the size of the content or the size of the video, image, or anything else that you are promoting is really the right size. So click on a link that I'm adding to the presentation and feel free to check it. Now we're going to talk about some other channels and sources that can help you, and they are trending a lot. And by the way, these are actually these three formats and channels are the ones that is helping us at Rock Content as well. So we have a co-marketing. So you can join forces with other businesses in like brands or anything else that also are an authority in the segmentation that you are trying to create. And then you can reach more people by adding another brand to your strategy. You're going to have not only your audience to distribute your content, but also the audience of another business. And this help a lot on reaching more people. We also have influencer marketing. It's also nice to see that you can reach more people by having someone that is an authority in some type of subject. So if you have, for example, I don't know, your brand is related to beauty products, you can invite a digital influencer to talk about beauty products. If you have a local business and you want to reach more people in that location, you can also count on local digital influencers to help you reach that people. You have the also, and at the same time, you have the opportunity to have someone creating the content for you, and it's something that is pretty experienced in content creation to help you reach more people, but also at the same time create content for you. And the other channel that we have is also a format, is interactive content that can help a lot to drive engagement and conversions. So there are a various amount of interactive content pieces that you can create, and you can work them the way you feel you need and the way you like the most. So you can create interactive ebooks, infographics, quizzes, calculators, and anything you can imagine. You probably already know when you have probably also lived an interactive experience, and it's more appealing for people to digest and consume this type of content instead of just reading like long blocks of texts. And at the same time, you can add call to actions inside your content in order to convert more people, since they are already engaged with the content that you are delivering to them. Now that we already know about these channels, we need to build the strategy. We need to put this all together and create our distribution strategy. First of all, we need to define what are our goals. So what do you expect with the content that you are going to distribute, the content that you are launching? Are you expecting engagement? Are you expecting awareness? You want to nurture your contacts, or you want to convert them? This is pretty important for us to keep in mind the stages of the funnel that we're working, the type of content that we have, and then where we are going to deliver our content. And then it's time to start distributing our content across our channels according to the formats. Something interesting to mention is that when we're talking about distribution, we have the actions that we need to take, we have the channels that we can reach, but it is important to keep the consistency of the strategy. When talking about consistency, I don't mean only regarding the frequency and times that you are going to post and deliver the content, but also creating a web where you can deliver your content throughout all the channels that your company or your business. So let's get started talking about the email marketing. As I mentioned, this is the most assertive one, and also you can use it to promote almost everything that you have, like your webinars, your podcasts, blog posts, interactive experience, and even send offers to get people who are already interested in your products or services to get their hands raised. Remember to create the right segmentation so you keep your communications aligned to what people are expecting from you. When you deliver, this is something that already happened to me when you are delivering your emails, and then you send an email to someone who's not quite interested in what you are talking about. So they're going to unsubscribe from your base. So keeping the segmentations up to date, it's pretty important to deliver the higher value to your audience. All right. So keep in mind, whenever you do a launch, you need to do an email marketing strategy and send emails to your contacts. We're talking about email, the webinars. This, as I mentioned, this is an amazing source to educate your audience and show them that they might need a solution. At the same time, you can add the CTAs that are related to your offer, related to your business inside this podcast and webinar, whether if we're talking about the person that is delivering the content, like the speaker, or on the subscription page or on a promotional piece. You can turn, it's also nice to mention that you can turn any valuable content that you have into a podcast. So if you have a blog post that is a success for your business and people really liked it, or if you have any other topic that you have already discussed in your business and was a success, and you think that is important to create more authority on this subject, you can create a webinar or a podcast and deliver even more value to your persona. When talking about the blog, this is a pretty versatile channel as well. And we can create content to deliver brand awareness and even drive conversions inside our blog. To get this done, it's important to keep the SEO strategies updated and always keep the eyes on the keywords that are trending, the keywords that you are ranking, and think on other keywords and new keywords that you want to reach. Always keep the eyes open for the trending topics. Every day there is a new trend coming up, and then it's pretty important for you to keep the eyes on these trends, to deliver content that are connected to these trends and help you reach more people. Deliver the good variety of blog post formats. You can create success cases, you can create a template, a how-to, you can create just a story or anything that you feel that you want to tell a story through our blog post. And we got some templates already done. So it's just for you to add your content. You can click on the link right there, and then you can access these templates. You can also create connections between your content. So if you launch a blog post today, you can connect it to a webinar that you have already done previously. Or you can do the inverse also, launch a webinar and launch a blog post and then a webinar related to it. But keep the connections between your content, and never forget to add call to actions into your blog posts. So since you are getting organic traffic to your website, your blog, or to any other source, it's important to have a CTA if you want to convert these people. Social media, this is probably the most known channel, and it's possible to reach millions of people. It works also from brand awareness and top of the funnel. Since we're talking about, since we're not going to deliver too much information, we're not able to deliver too much information inside a social media post, for example, and you can actually use it to promote the ones that you are creating. So it's more important to generate an awareness and attract the attention of people and express. It's important to express the creativity in your design and on the copy, so you catch their attention and you get them interested in what you are showing. Once again, it's important to explore the trends, since social media is also trending a lot, and the short videos, which are a trend as well. We know that TikTok is trending a lot. We also know that Instagram is trying to keep on the same page with the Reels. So if you want to reach more people, short videos are a good way to go. And as I mentioned, the interactive content is also pretty interesting to help you reach more people, since it works with the SERPs. So if you are delivering an interactive experience, you are able to rank this experience on Google. And since you are ranking, the interactive experience is able to convert more people, since you are getting them engaged. You are getting them throughout the funnel that you are creating in that content. So having an interactive experience with the right CTAs, with the right content, it's going to deliver you to a path of success. And you can use all the other channels that I have mentioned to promote your interactive experience and increase the number of conversions. Never forget, once again, to add the CTAs, to add links, and create the connection between a content and another. So once again, you create this web of content in which a content that you have previously created is connected to the one that you are launching right now, and then you get them both together, and they one help the other to reach wider audiences. So this is an example that I have done, and it can look quite complex, but I'm going to dive deeper and show you a little bit more, so you can have more understanding, a clear understanding of what I want to say right here. All right, so this example, we're talking about an ebook launch. And as I mentioned, the email marketing is like, at least here at Raw Content, is our main source and our main channel. And we explore it a lot. And we have a lot of people who really enjoy the emails that we send, the materials that we send. So when I was talking about consistency, keeping consistent, as I mentioned, it's important not only for the number of launches, the number of times that you are going to send a material, to promote a material, or any type of content that you are planning, but also to keep them connected to the others. So first of all, we have the email, and at the same time that we're launching in our email, we are also launching on social media. And of course, we need to change the copy, we need to change the imagery, we need to change colors and anything, the narrative, but delivering the same content. This is why I'm talking in the end right here to be consistent and creative. You need to change the approach so you catch other people's attention if you didn't caught their attention on the first blast. At the same time, we can launch it in the blog, whether if you're creating a blog post to talk about this content, or if you are just adding call to actions in the blog post that you already have. And you can add this to an interactive experience, or you can create an interactive experience that is related to the content, or in this case, to the ebook that we're talking. Once again, if you want to dive deeper inside new formats, you can create a webinar or a podcast and launch it as well. And for each of these that we're talking right here, the interactive experience and the webinar, you can also promote on social media. So, okay, for the first blast, for the first launch, we had an email, we had a blog post, we had social media, and we also created a webinar. So we have people coming from many different sources, from many different channels. They are able to get access to this content that I have created. Okay, this was my first approach. Now I'm going to change the approach and once again, make another launch. Between the first and the second launch, you can think and use some tools like notifications to remember people that they have a material or a content that is available for them. So you can set a notification between these launches and remember them, and then you do your second launch. So we're going to send the second email and the second social media post. It's interesting to create a new narrative to catch people's attentions for the ones that were not interested in the first narrative that you have created, and then do the launch. Okay, so for social media and email, especially for email, it's important for you to keep in mind that someone have already opened and someone have already accessed the material that you have created. If you feel that it's important for you, you can segment and exclude these people from your launch because they already know what you're talking about, and you don't want to be boring and like over posting or over filling the content. In the second time of the social media, if you feel that you have contacts, or if you have even like your internal team, you can count on them as digital influencers to help you promote the content. It depends, of course, on the segment that you are working, on your industry, and any other different types of companies that we have. But if you have access to a digital influencer, it's important and it can be interesting to reach more people. Once again, give some time to your audience, and then you can see the notification. That's a pretty simple one. And remember them that you are talking about this topic, and then you think of a new narrative, a new social media colors, imagery, and everything to do the third blast. So once again, you get all the people from the first and the second blast that you did out of the segmentation, and then send to the other ones in a new perspective, in a new narrative, in a new approach. Meanwhile, it's important to remember that while you are launching email and social media, your blog post is delivering traffic, your interactive experience is delivering traffic, and people are getting access to your webinar and to your podcast. So it's quite evergreen. It doesn't stop. You did your 3 blasts, and if you feel in the beginning of your launch that you can get more people interested, and you have a partner that can connect with you somehow in this type of content, in this topic, you can create co-marketing, and you're going to have all the steps that I mentioned here, not only for your company, but also for the audience in another business. And you can like get twice, 3 times, and I don't know, many times of people, the amount of people that you were able to create only for your business. So you can expand your reach, you can be consistent and creative, since you are going to have in a single campaign, you are going to have 3 types of blasts. and also explore the resources that you have. If you have digital influencers maybe inside your company, if you have people that are specialists in a certain topic, to launch a webinar or a podcast, and also to create an interactive experience that is going to engage your whole audience. So keep in mind, consistency doesn't mean only frequency, but also where you are getting your content delivered. And your content can be delivered not only throughout email and social media, but you can explore many other ways that are going to probably be evergreen. As I mentioned, our blog, a webinar, a podcast, or an interactive experience, if you try to find different types of channels. In this case, we're talking about a middle of funnel. We can be talking about a middle of funnel ebook, but if you're launching just a campaign for brand awareness, you can think of the same strategy to deliver awareness to your audience. Just remember that in certain cases, when we're talking about conversional pieces, conversional offers, maybe social media is not going to deliver the highest value that you expect, but at the same time is going to help you with the brand awareness solution. So keep the web always together, keep your content connected, keep your strategy always connecting your channels, and then you can get the best results that you can expect. Evaluation. Now we're going to talk about how we're going to evaluate the strategy. First of all, you can track, as I mentioned, the email marketing is one of the main ones. So it's even good for you to have an marketing automation platform to track the open rate, the click-through, the number of people who didn't interact with your emails. And also the social media. On social media, it's pretty interesting to see these results going through. You can check the blog traffic, and on interactive experience platforms, you can also see how people engaged with your content. And then after collecting all this data, you are going to adjust. If you have all the data regarding an email, for example, and the subject was not pretty interesting because people didn't open the email, so you need to change. So adjust, create a new narrative, as I mentioned, for the email, and do your second launch. So for example, if you created a social media imagery and people didn't engage with it a lot, try to get another image. Or if you created a video in a format that people didn't enjoy so much, try to change the format of the video. And then you adjust the content to what you have as result. And then act again, post again, send your email again. And once again, you are going to analyze the results of your second blast and then adjust what you need to adjust and do it again for the third blast. Okay, so these are the main ways that you can keep the consistency in a nice way of analyzing the results that you have, and also keep improving. As I mentioned, consistency is getting all together in a frequency of time, but you're not just going to do it and wait for the result to act. All right, so let's just recap what we have discussed in this short training. You were talking about the journey, so it's important to keep in mind when you are going to launch a material or a content that you have to think of the journey and what stage of the journey you are launching, for what stage of the journey you are launching this content, and then the channels and formats. How can you explore the channels and the formats that you have for launching this type of content that you are planning? Then you are going to build your strategy and create the whole narrative, and remember to keep the connection between your sources and your channels and the content that you are creating, and then evaluate everything that you have already done to improve for the next launches that you are going to do.